Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining tonight. Lovely to be with you. Philip, welcome.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you.
Surinder, George, and Shrida, welcome all. As we start, we'll have a little chit and chat to start with, and by the time we're going to play a lovely excerpt of Shri Mataji's talk in Melbourne in 1983 on our subject of sensitivity to reality, which is an interesting subject tonight, Philip.
Yes, yes.
Do come on with your video, Philip.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're on your way. I just
It's not unmuting.
Oh, let me see if I can do it for you. Why is that? I wonder. Let me try my level best.
There we are.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, made it.
Oh, yes, I can see you now. For some
Yep,
reason,
I can see you too.
pin you up the front. There we are. We're both now. So, Philip, I love your greenery there. Looking very
Yes, lovely. Our season's been very generous here in Canberra, yes.
So on the subject of sensitivity to reality, so I mean, there's something obvious is that one's sensitivity to reality improves when you get your self-realization. But what do you think, if you've had your realization, it means about your sensitivity to reality?
Well, prior to our realization, we as humans operate through our conditioning and how we're brought up, our cultural influences, which can be many throughout the world. And then we have our ego as we get older. But once you get your realization and the central channels awakened by the Kundalini, through your meditation, you start drawing closer to your own spirit, which is in your heart. And believe it or not, that reality is the actual spirit. And as you become aware of your left side and right side, and as they clear, and you become much more in the moment and the center through the meditation, you start seeing things through a natural process in the sense of, oh, your awareness change. And this is all part of evolution. Because if you look at evolution, human beings started out, well, way back in Neanderthal, we evolved for a long, you're talking about millions of years here, we've evolved it up to this point, and there's been steps of change, which brought us a new awareness along the road and information given by special people along the way to keep us okay. But in this era now, we are to evolve where we are to know a reality in the sense of beyond the human nonsense, in a way that you find out what is beneficial for your evolution, your development, also for the human race. So reality is, it's not really, there's a lot of unreal things around. It's all part of the confusion. And as you develop your realization, you start seeing the drama. The Sanskrit word for it is the maya, the illusion that is around us. And it's rather sometimes quite humorous in the sense of, as your spirit comes into your awareness more, you start, oh, it's a growth that happens inside you, and it's an evolving thing that goes on, and you learn things as you go.
Just share that map of us while you're talking about our evolution. Just getting that up for you. So
Well,
the map of us.
that's the map of us. You've got your blue vertical line, that's your past, where you've been, what you come through, ends up the superego. And in that line is stored all the past and memory. That's why we have memory. And you learn things as you go along. And as we have evolved, we've developed the yellow line on the right, which ends up, we're the only part of creation that's got this. It's our ego as humans. As we evolved, we would develop an ego so we could have choice, freedom, to make the free choices for the good and bad. And obviously, over history, we haven't made a lot of good choices collectively. And the central channel is the one that Sri Mataji, when she started Saja Yoga, came to show us, is that the base of that central channel is a kundalini, a power. It's a mothering power. It's the feminine power, which like is Mother Earth, which is the energy when it's awakened. It takes us into the central aspect of ourself as a evolving step. And as you meditate and develop, and the left and right inside us adjust, we come into the center where you notice reality as part of that change in awareness. You realize that there's more to you. It's realization, reality, that you realize that there's more in you, that you've got the spirit in your heart, and that there is an incredible development around us, a vast ocean of you call the divine, which you realize you are part of, and you realize you're part of a great race of people, and we've all got to evolve to bring us all together, and there is always reality checks along the way, particularly about yourself. You can see your own chakras, and on that hand there, you can see the different coloured fingers relating to the different coloured chakras. That's a revelation of, I need to clear that and work on myself. I need to meditate, become more centered. And this is a way of being real about yourself. And as that changes, I feel your attitude changes to other people as well. You see it in a much more wider view, and you understand things. And that's a growth thing, that's a becoming. And that's the beauty of Satya Yoga, is that recognizing your own spirit.
Yeah, and there's the small or the close reality of ourselves, and then there's the reality of the greater.
Yes.
You know, like there's all the religions fighting against each other.
Yeah.
The reality is that the religions themselves are right, but it's the interpreters and the leaders of those religions.
Yes, exactly.
And so that's why there's all the fighting.
That's a frustrating thing. In evolution, these people have come along and given us instructions of how to be, to remain in the center, be balanced, be good to each other. But along the way, we've misinterpreted, or it's been too deep for us to understand. And we are given the chance, in the sense of our realization, for that to reoccur within us and to adjust and to understand what they all came for. And this is through Satya Yoga, Sri Mataji's done, is the awakening of the Kundalini, which is in the sacrum bone. When that's awakened, this extra dimension awakens within us to give us an awareness within inside ourselves. And this is available to every human being, because that step of self-realization or second birth or yoga, whatever you like to call it, is in everyone, to get them to another level of awareness where they understand themselves from within on a lot better level. And you can actually see, once you develop this within you, you can actually see the silliness of what has occurred and is occurring at the moment. It goes against what is actually meant for us as a collective group of people. And you realize that we're all the same in the end. It's just that we've got to evolve to see that. And that's very important.
And the fact that everybody actually has Kundalini in the sacred.
Exactly. Yeah.
Everybody does.
Yeah, everyone.
State for us all to evolve to be a spiritual person.
Exactly. That's a step in our evolution. As I said before, we've come through the Neanderthal stage, we became into the human being, and we've got to move on through. There's a whole plan there for us. You know, talked about the Garden of Eden and paradise and heaven and all that. That was part of the plan of the divine to bring us to our fulfillment. And it was talked about along the way. And that's actually within ourselves. It's all there due to us. The only thing that gets in the way is our conditioning and our ego, which we've used wrongly historically. And now we can go above that by the central channel being awakened by the Kundalini to give us that evolving energy to show us our spirit and our heart. And our conditioning and ego is still there as part of our character, but that gets refined more. And you become to realize about your conditioning, about your ego, and the vital parts that are necessary in there. And it's a lovely revelation, actually, a realization of ourself in the sense of what we're meant to be. It's a beautiful thing.
On that note, Philip, shall we hear what Shri Mataji has to say
Oh, yes, she's expert.
of sensitivity to reality? It's very interesting.
Yes.
And then we'll, obviously, we'll have our nice meditation after that talk.
Okay.
All right, let's listen to this now.
I bow to all the seekers of truth. May God give you wisdom and understanding about the truth and about Himself. Dr. Warren just now brought out a point that if somebody is doing his work in a split of a second, even on the television when it was only 1 minute, if it works out, then there has to be somebody special. All this kind of talk is not necessary in India, because Indians are well educated in spiritual matters. They know what is the Shakti is, what is Kundalini is, they know the chakras, they are very well equipped. They have got the names of the Shakti in which it is said so. So to them it is not to be told and requested. But in the West, though such great saints have been born, such seekers are born, they have forgotten the knowledge that they had, perhaps, of the power of God. And that's why I find the sensitivity of people is not towards understanding the reality, but more they take to artificial things. Perhaps the more we are in contact with machine, we become more akin or close to machine. We try to understand everything in a machine-like manner, but not in that sensitive way that people had once upon a time. Even at the time of Christ, except for few Jews who didn't like him because they wanted to have their own money-making propositions, they crucified him. Even the judge who judged him, his wife, could understand that he was a saint. And the people around him, who were simple people, all of them knew that he was something saintly. Even at the time of Shri Krishna and Shri Rama, it has happened. I agree that many saints have been crucified, have been tortured, but not by the general public, by general people. It has been done by people who were in power or who were professing some sort of a religion, who thought that their religion is in danger because they were making money out of that religion. These are the people who did all these atrocities, and they brought forth this kind of calamity or this kind of torture to the great saints who lived. But today is just the other way around. The public is not sensitive enough. That's a very hard thing to feel, that the public itself is not understanding what is the truth and how to come to the truth. Yesterday, in short, I told you, first of all, we have to be honest people if we want to find the truth. It's a simple proposition that we have to be honest about it. That we should know that we cannot purchase the truth. Secondly, the truth is what it is. Whatever are your own conceptions about truth is not the truth, is your own idea, your mental projection. Truth is what it is, it will be forever and ever. And truth cannot compromise for you, you have to compromise for the truth. is the other way around thing. That you have to compromise for the truth. You have to understand that so far those concepts you had, relatively if they are not near the truth, then you have to give them up. It's a very strange thing that you great people who are seekers are born in various countries. In so many countries I find. And then at this juncture, when it is not because there is so much sickness and all that, but it's a special time also. It's a time of resurrection, is the time of your last judgment. At these great times that people should lose their sensitivity to reality. It is amazing how people take to artificial things. So many things people have done just because they could not see through. That's why I requested you yesterday, you must come to some logical conclusion. You must use your brains and understand that reality, if it lies within you, and if it is a living process of your evolution, then it has to be done in a way that is not done by human beings. Because no living work is done by human beings. It cannot be done. We cannot transform one flower into a fruit, leave alone a human being into a spirit. So it has to be done by the same process which has made us human beings. And the same process that is living force of God's love, of living God's love, should do the job. So it has to be spontaneous. You cannot achieve it through your efforts. Actually, those who tell you like that you have to achieve it through your efforts, or you have got your karmas, you have got to suffer and all that, are just giving excuses. They don't know how to achieve it. They are just giving excuses. Must understand that if you have got that power within you, it has to manifest spontaneously. For example, some people may not get realization. Maybe little bit, very little bit percentage, I hope, may not get. But that is nothing wrong with Sahaja Yoga. There must be something wrong within you, physically, mentally, emotionally. There must be something wrong. So we have to correct it, and we have to see that you get your realization in a proper way, and that it is achieved through your own understanding in your own glory, that you should know that you have got your realization. This is the only difference between the evolutionary process so far from animal to this stage, that human beings will be aware of their realization. They will know all about it, because now they have become masters, that they are not doing things automatically. They will know that this power is flowing through them, and they will also know how to handle it, which can be decoded through Sahaja Yoga, and you have to learn the technique of operating God's laws, which are tremendous and wonderful. You believe it or not, God exists. His loving power is all-pervading. We have never felt it before. I agree there. You have never felt that His all-pervading power is everywhere. You have felt the ether through which we receive the television and other communications. But you have not felt that subtle power which is all-pervading, not only but that, but is the subtle of all this growth that you see. But the time has come, a very precious time, that you have to get it. So all your other identifications, I'm sorry, you have to drop them. You have to just become yourself. Whatever you have gathered in lifetime, all kinds of concepts and precepts and all that, forget it. Just think that you are a human being and you have to get your realization. That's the most important thing. All the rest of things are of no use. So I would request you, first of all, in all honesty, try to be the spirit, and if you become the spirit, try to understand the path of progress in your spiritual ascent. Now to come to the point of this subtle instrument already created within us. To come to this point, we have to understand as I told you yesterday, that this is the knowledge of the roots. Whatever you have so far is the knowledge of the tree. But you don't have any knowledge of the roots. Many people have told me, Mother, what Christianity has failed, that religion has failed, this religion has failed. How can it be? If there is God, how can it be? I mean, there are communists also in this world who deny God completely. But it's not that the religions have failed, not the prophets have failed, not the incarnations have failed. It's the people who represented them wanted to make something of their own concept, of their ideas, and the whole thing has become such a marketplace that I just don't understand. How can you sell God? How can you sell his ideas? There's no business about God. Now, this one is the great instrument that you have within yourself. Yesterday I told you that you need not accept me as a sort of a conditioning on your mind. But as a scientist, keep an open mind. And this is the hypothesis I put before you. And when it works out, you have to see if it is all right or not. Now, some of you who might be doubting about it or thinking that, oh, it's all another story and things like that, they can go ahead with it. Because divine is not interested in such people. Divine is only interested in people who are honestly seeking the truth. So this center that you see, the first of all, is a very important center. I don't know what he has told you about it, but it's called as the Muladhara. It's the center of Muladhara. Center of Muladhara. Muladhara itself is that triangular bone, which is a very small triangle, you cannot see it clearly. We should have expanded it to show you, which contains in itself the power of Kundalini. Is the power of that energy, which I told you yesterday, is the pure desire to become one with God. All other desires are not satiable. That's why this is the only desire that has to manifest, otherwise you are not going to be satisfied with your life. Now this pure desire exists in that triangular bone, and you could see it also when you raise the Kundalini, this pulsating there, just like a heart, but not on every person, not on every seeker. Only those who have a problem with the other two centers. You can see with your naked eye the pulsation of the Kundalini. When there is such a pulsation of the Kundalini, we have to know that these two centers are in problem in human beings. And these two centers are, the higher one is called as the Nabhi Chakra, which means the center, the subtle center of the navel. And this center manifests outside what we call the solar plexus. In the medical terminology is called as solar plexus, but that's the gross thing. This is the subtle center which is in the medulla oblongata in the spinal cord. Now this is a very, very important center within us again, which was created since long when we were seeking. First, as animals, we were seeking food. Then also we were seeking our evolution, because animals also sought their ascent from one unicellular animal to a multicellular animal, like all the quadrupeds are, or the mammals are. How they arrived it is no one can say, because the power that worked for it lies in the central path of the central nadi called as Sushumna Nadi. So first we were seeking the food. Then we were seeking the shelter, as you go by in the history. Then as we evolved more and more, we started seeking our joy in, say, economics, in possessions, then in politics, in power. Then we evolved much more. and we thought there's no joy in all these things. We have had enough of it. Especially affluence helps you a lot, because affluent people get fed up of materialism and the plastic mountains that they have created, and they just want to have something simple in life. At this stage, then they start thinking of their spirit. They think, how is it that we are not yet satisfied? How is it we are so restless? What are we seeking? Some of them know what they are seeking. Some of them don't know what they are seeking. But even if they know what they are seeking, they don't know how it will happen and what should we expect.
Let's go into meditation. Let's establish our self-realization, strengthen that. Philip, maybe you'd like to take us into the meditation.
Okay. Just put our hands out as though you're accepting something, open hands, palms up. We'll just go through a process where, keeping our left hand open, we place the right hand on the chakras on the left-hand side of our body, which is the side of our desire. All we have to do is desire it, because the Kundalini wants to rise. It's there for that purpose. So leaving our left hand out, open, place our right hand on our heart. And here we can ask a fundamental question. Am I the spirit? Because in our heart is that beautiful quality reflected by our heartbeat, that eternal energy, which just is loving, permanent. It's there. Now take our right hand down to the left-hand side of near our navel on the left-hand side. And here we ask the question, which is important, about, am I my own teacher? Because we have to become our own teacher in this area to understand ourselves. This is a beautiful thing about this Sahaja Yoga, is it teaches you about how to look after yourself on that subtle level. Am I my own teacher, master, or guru? You get that subtle knowledge of the self. Take our right hand down to where the leg joins on the body on the left-hand side, and here we ask for the pure knowledge. Am I the pure knowledge? We have that ability within us to understand ourselves, the knowledge which is for our advancement, for our benevolence. Am I the true knowledge? And we can affirm that by saying, I am the true knowledge. It is there, and as we develop, it shows itself. That we can look after ourselves and have that knowledge. I am the pure knowledge. We have to know the pure knowledge. Take our right hand up to the left-hand side of our navel again, and here we can affirm that I am my own teacher. Once again, this is what we have to achieve, is to know ourselves, to know our subtle body, know how to look after the chakras and the subtle system. Learn the meditation and all those things that go with it. I am my own teacher. Take that right hand back to our heart, and with a subtle confidence in I am the spirit, because that's what we are. In the end, that's what we're meant to be. That's what we have to evolve to be that spirit, to feel that within ourselves. It's in our heart. The Kundalini awakens it when it rises to bring us into that new state. I am the Spirit. Take that right hand up to where the shoulder joins the neck on the left-hand side. And here, affirmation is, I am not guilty. All the chakras have particular qualities, and this area here is affected if we're feeling guilt. Things of the past, I am not guilty. We've got to leave those things and just learn and move on. I am not guilty. We take that right hand to the back of our head. This is where the superego sits. It's our past, it's our memories, it's our conditioning. And here we can say, I forgive myself. And that clears our past. Because we're not allowed to feel guilty or hang on to the past. We need to be in the moment. I forgive myself. That helps the past become much softer, and we can live with ourselves better. I forgive myself. Now take that right hand across our forehead. Put our head down slightly, as though we're bowing. This is where the ego sits. And this is where we forgive everyone. When we forgive, we become equal with each other. What may have happened in the past, I forgive. I forgive everyone. One of our great qualities, I forgive. By forgiving, it brings us more and more into the moment. I forgive. It lightens the load. I forgive everyone. We can also ask to be a forgiving person. It's a good quality. Often a challenge, but it is there. I forgive. Take our right hand and place it on the top of our head. This is our crown. This is our lotus, our halo, our sahasrara, which means 1,000. Apparently there's 1,000 nerves here. The sahasrara is a subtle area. And here we ask, please open my sahasrara. Please enlighten my crown. May the lotus unfold. This is where the Kundalini comes through to make the union, to make that yoga or that second birth. It's a process. It's in there for everyone to have. It's inbuilt so we can have that dimension. You lift our hand above our head just to see if you feel a cool breeze there. The Kundalini has a cool breeze. That's one of its qualities. If it's warm, it means that the heat is coming out of the body and it's helping that heat come out of the body. Lift a little higher, feel that cool breeze. Keeping our eyes closed, keep our attention on the top where that fountain is bubbling away at the top. And bring our hand back to our lap. Just keep our attention up the top. It's above our thoughts in that silent space.
Lovely meditation. Thank you, Philip. It might be nice just to contemplate strengthening our meditation and what we do for that. Shri mentioned in the talk, touched briefly on the Muladhara chakra. That's the first one, the one that supports the sacrum bone and the kundalini, basically, and all the chakras, really. And she also talked a bit about the center chakra of our seeking, which is the Navi chakra, so in the center of where our navel is. And if we're contemplating how to improve those centers within us, there's something we do every night, and we have been mentioning it quite a bit in the WhatsApp groups meditations, in case you're wondering about that, or it may be something you're already doing every night. But that is, Philip, a foot soak.
Mm.
We mentioned in passing that going in the ocean is ideal, but if you're not near the ocean or the timing doesn't suit, we make our ocean in our house. And I have here something I prepared earlier, a foot soak bucket. Excuse my. So we've got a foot soak bucket here with ankle deep water. So we won't go through the foot soak, but I just want to show you so you can start knowing what it is and doing it if you haven't already. So can you see that bucket? No. Let me come forward a bit. Anyway, it is there.
Yeah.
You bring the camera down a bit lower. Sure, I had it visible earlier.
Mm.
All sorts of things we'll see now. We'll be back.
That's good.
Got it? It's okay. So we've got the bucket there.
Mm.
We've got some salt. So this is all we do. We get our salt bucket, warm water or water to the temperature that suits you. Bit of salt. So it's just that much. And you put your feet in there. Oops, daisy. You may have some rinsing water here in this jug, which I don't happen to have, but I would have if I was really thinking ahead. And then a paper towel or an actual towel to dry your feet afterwards. And that's literally all we do, Philip, is sit in with our feet in the bucket or stand in the ocean for about 10 minutes, no more than 10 minutes. And it's a feeling thing. So you want to be feeling your kundalini up there at Sahasrara, which you just have been during that lovely meditation. So that's the nuts and bolts of it, actually.
The foot soak.
So that's a little something which is good for the energy centers that Shri was referring to. I'll come back to you now.
Mm.
And we'll put away all those cushions and things. So foot soak every night, 10 minutes, if you can manage it. And there's no reason why you can't. Particularly if you've got the ocean nearby.
Mm.
And that does work wonders. You've got the earth element with the salt. You've got the water, obviously. You've got perhaps a candle lit at where your photograph of Shri is, which works wonders also for your meditation. So basically, you're having your meditation with a foot soak.
Yeah, very good for the right. It's very good for the right side, for the bottom chakras. It's good for cooling the liver. And if you have a much more cooler foot soak, if you're feeling right-sided or the right hand is hot, it's very good for calming. You just put your feet in there, as Lynn said, and you just been meditating with your feet in the water. Then you get to know the system, you can work on it, but it's very good for just taking the heat out of our body, and it's actually very soothing.
Yeah.
Lovely practice.
Nice for your sleep if you're doing it at night.
Ideal.
So that's your little something to add to your routine. Of course, there's what we've done before, clearing the left and right, with dropping one hand down towards the earth element for the left side, and of course, raising the left hand into the air for the right side, taking out all of that heat in general. And of course, how are we going for time, Philip?
About 7 or 8 minutes left, I think.
What we will do, the actual thing, is to raise our kundalini and place ourselves into bandhan. And most of you would know, of course, that that is literally raising up our kundalini, the shortcut of getting into that meditative state, and then protecting yourself is the bandhan with those vibrations. So let's do that, raising the left hand. The right hand is winding. We go up to the top of our head and tie a knot. So we really want to keep our attention at the top of our head. 2 knots the second time. And then third time, 3 knots. And then the putting the protection of vibrations over and back 7 times. That's for each of our chakras, our energy centers. And of course, if you're at the beach and you're feeling a little awkward to actually go through the raising of your kundalini and putting on the bandhan, you don't have to do that if there's people around. So feel free just to stand. And it's a feeling thing where you're feeling, you go to your heart first, I'm the spirit, and then take your attention onto the top of your head. You can always just touch the top of your head because that's where your heart lands up. So it's the center of your heart, the center of the top of your head. So then once you're feeling that, feeling quite comfortable with that feeling, then you're done. 10 minutes, done. You know, sometimes we've gotten out of balance, reacted to something, and we're feeling really strung out. So obviously you can try a little longer if you need to. So it's your own feeling rather than a prescription as such, but not necessary to be there for hours on end. Any questions anyone has, feel free to utilize the chat. We're happy to talk about anything that comes to mind, particularly on this subject of reality and sensitivity to reality. Otherwise, we do have a concert of Stephen Day. Some of you may know Stephen Day. He's a great musician. I'll put that on, and you can, particularly YouTubers, will leave you with that. And if you're on Zoom and you want to chit and chat, feel free. We'll keep the chat line open. But in the meantime, have a lovely ongoing meditation. Look forward to seeing you again next week. Thank you again for joining us for lovely meditation. So feel free to stay on Zoom, people.
Thank you, Lynn.
Thanks for joining again, everyone, and look forward to next week. Thank you. Good night.